Hi, this is Benandorf, and welcome back to another episode of Crusader Kings 2, The Old Gods. As we last left off, we were just busy pillaging and looting all of our neighbors, and so that's where we will pick back up, with our 704 unit, or men in this army, heading back home with a fleet full of loot. And apparently, and I have just recently learned this, prepared invasions are something that you can choose if you have plenty of prestige and you have not prepared one already in your lifetime, as well as having a pretty small realm. But because we have a pretty large realm, and of course that our king has already prepared an invasion against what was it? This area here, Mercia, that's it. Terrible with names. There's not much we can do. One more thing to do before we unpause. I'm going to go through and find any young, so below the age of 16, Catholic vassals and try to educate them so that I can turn them Norse. Heck, I'll even... they will not accept the education, unfortunately, despite the fact that I am his liege. So, it's worth a shot here and there, but I'm not sure if I will be very successful. Okay, so it doesn't just... or he will accept a different educator than myself, but it depends on opinion if it's actually me that's doing the educating. So, going to send this one so that I can try and get Leicester to become Norse. I'm going to try a different mentor for this lad here in Chester. And going to find one that is... we want one that is Norse as well as being diligent and preferably not shy. Gregarious and diligent both increase or decrease the amount of time it takes for a conversion to occur. But shy and and slothful rather will increase the amount of time on average it takes. Here's one that's just gregarious. And looking through these, yeah, it looks like just gregarious is the best we're going to do. So I'm going to let this lad here in Chester... oh, well, he still won't accept it, despite me being his liege. Oh well, it was worth a shot. And let's see, there shouldn't be any more... here in Bedford. It's a young girl, so I'm going to try and educate her. And both of her brothers, preferably. So once again, sorting by religion. And let's just find the first gregarious. And then her heir, I'm going to also try and educate him. Transfer him over to the Norse faith, and more importantly, well, equally importantly, Norse religion, Norse culture, I should say. But I suppose they're both about equally important. Oh, and we have to wait until that last offer goes through. And these raiders are still managing to loot some. Oh no, now they are not looting at all. Perhaps it was just a fluke that it seemed that they would be looting from Norsemen. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a bug. But the fleet has filled up, or has returned the men. The men have returned to the fleet, I should say. So let's get this unpaused and get started. And we have Oh, whoops, I thought they had already embarked. My mistake. The bit of land we took has been re-sieged back. Whatever, we were just taking it for funsies, basically, and some money. And the guardianship contract has been accepted. So we're going to go ahead and try and educate her heir now as well. And let's see. Gregarious increases diplomacy, so yeah, sorting by diplomacy is not a bad idea. But setting up my heir to educate this. Oh no, that counts being educated by me, but my heir to educate Countess Sethrith of Bedford's heir. And so I think that should be it. All of those available for the moment anyways. And our men have come home with tons and tons of loot. 75 gold and 75 prestige. We are quite a prestigious person at the moment. And only 49, so we've still got some time left. The question now is, do we take some more of England, or do we go ahead and declare war on Jylland? It's looking like Jylland is currently pretty busy fighting some other wars. So I'm going to try and take what land is theirs for our own. After all, Denmark should be ours and we will become king. But first we must forge the realm in blood. So, declaring war, subjugation of Denmark. And Ragnar will, which is our only ally it looks like, will maybe join in. Where is Dunham? It's not worth calling him in. He won't do much of anything. But I'm going to re-raise all of these levies. Oh, and we have attacked the enemy in Bedford, which means we're probably going to lose those levies, but such is life. Moving all of the other levies over to Lincoln. Yep, lost all those levies, but whatever, it was only 100 or so men. I'm going to send these 4 armies to take Lübeck, while the other armies in England slowly make their way over. Got to raise some navies to bring them over, of course. And let's see what we have in the way of mercenaries. Looks like plenty of options here. Just going to hire a couple mercenary bands, combine them together and send them to Jylland. And our armies in England are filling or combining, so once they all actually combine, we'll do that. Once they all get to Lincoln, we will combine them and give them some actual leaders. Let's see, these armies here could use some leaders as well. It's looking like they're just barely going to have enough to start the siege. But that's okay, we will reinforce that army with all of these troops from England. And our king has given up, or has lost the trait of ill, which is very good. It means he won't be leaving us anytime soon, except perhaps in battle. At least that's the hope. And here's 1,700 more troops. So I'm going to send them over to assist in the siege of Lübeck. Lübeck, not really sure how it's pronounced in the old Viking letters and all of that. The old name. And I'm going to send the fleet and disband it. I can call it back up if necessary, but this way I won't have to pay for upkeep. And time is somewhat of the essence at the moment. But we will definitely be taking and keeping Jylland as one of our holdings. In fact, we'll probably move our... Yeah, we'll probably go ahead and move our capital there. Ah, our wife has become pregnant. Or no, our concubine is pregnant. Huh. Take that, Catholic concubine. And it looks like Zealand's sending some troops to try and... Or they've hired some mercenaries to try and clear out our troops in Lubbock, but I'm not really sure where they're headed. Probably down here to group up with this other army, and then they hope to be able to attack and push me out. With the river advantage, it may not be that easy for them, though. Oh no, they are not. Not yet, anyways. I am going to see if I can't call my allies in. No, he's not willing to join. And it looks like the army of Jylland is trying to beat our mercenaries. Which as long as the battle stays pretty close, we should be able to finish up any troops of theirs that survive. However, I'm going to move this navy so that hopefully I will be able to move the army of Ivar and reinforce as soon as I'm done sieging. Which, there we go, we finished that siege. And have taken the lowborn wife of the Count as our hostage. She has some good stewardship. So I'm going to take her as a concubine. Why not? It's fun being a Viking. Oh, and actually, Zealand troops are heading back to Jylland, so probably coming down to actually attack the army of Ivar. Either way, whichever troops need to will move and help defend the others. We have 2 stacks, and their army can defeat either one of the stacks individually without probably too much problem, even though it may be pretty bloody. But if I combine them, Zealand will have no hope. And my ward has asked, since we all die anyways, why be so hassled about life? I can either make him chaste or temperate, or lustful and gluttonous. I'm going to choose chaste and temperate, because he's not of my dynasty. I don't care if he ever reproduces. Yep, he now has chaste. Perhaps that dynasty will die out, and I'll get some more land out of it. Never a bad thing. Holstein is under siege. Yes, and we have been attacked. So, going to move the mercenary troops in to reinforce. And a crushing victory for us. So, going to move the mercenary troops to follow up and try and wipe out the remaining 1,600 troops that the enemy has. Which we got there first, so we're on the defensive. Another victory in Hamburg, albeit much less crushing of a victory. And someone has founded the Independence faction, which is unfortunate, but we will deal with that when we need to. And another battle in Holstein, as well as in Lubbock. Both victories for us. Chasing back to Hamburg, and then should go on over to, or I guess I'll take Finn next. Fun. Regardless, I'll take this little island here in the Sound, which I didn't even realize was separate from Zealand. Another successful siege. Means we're making some money, hopefully enough to keep us in mercenaries, at least for a while. And a complete wipeout of the enemy troops. So now it's just a matter of sieging down the enemy. So I'm going to disband these long ships, galleys I suppose, and keep on sieging. And an astute noble has asked to join us. I really can't afford the gold just for some random soldier, so I'm going to take the piety instead. He can stay the night, but no longer. Laying siege in Fun. And a daughter was born. Good. Better a daughter than another son to split land between. I suppose if it's a bastard child anyways, it doesn't really matter. Oh no, it doesn't count. It just counts as a child of concubine. Interesting. The enemy's trying to combine its forces back again in Sjaelland, as few forces as they have, but not being particularly successful. And we finished in Lubbock. And it looks like we have, because of battles, we are now at 100% war score. Let's enforce this demand. And we have usurped all sorts of land and are now the proud owner of pretty much all of Denmark. So, I'm going to disband all of these armies, especially the mercenaries, because we cannot afford them. And let's see what we need to... We're going to keep Ringstead and Northampton and Urabi are both about equal value, but Northampton is better upgraded at the moment, but on the other hand is also Catholic. Well, I'll just give away Svendborg for now. Let's find a character, male, my religion, my culture, and pretty much just going to choose one of these. This kid's the lucky one, and he will get the County of Foon. So congrats to him. And now we're just going to... Oh, Cathar Heresy. Well, it's all the same to us, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Prince Baird of Scotland has taken a bit of... or has taken a temple away from one of his vassals. At least that's what it looks like. And... let's see, I imagine there's somewhere else we could invade. But where to take? No CB here in Sweden. Looks like the Slavic pagans in Pomerania are the lucky ones. So we're going to declare that war. Move all of these troops in to take the land, and of course raise some more boats so that we can move our troops from England, sending all of the troops in England to combine in Lincoln. And we're Vikings. If we're not conquering something, we're just not having fun. So we lost a small we're going to lose this small army. I'm just going to disband it. No reason to just let it die. But combining over here... Oh, and our Spymaster has succeeded in getting some more military... or some more tech from Constantinople. Let's see which of these gets it. Ah, military does. So which one to choose? I'm thinking military organization is probably the one to choose here. And light infantry. We have the points for both. So that should increase the value of our armies somewhat, as well as lowering any potential losses from... and I'm combining these navies, and that'll lower potential losses from attrition, which shouldn't be an issue, but better safe than sorry. Looking at military, by the way, we have enough retinue cap to actually get some, or to hire some retinues here soon. I'm not going to do that quite yet because money's a little tight, but we'll soon be planning to do just that. And this army is decent sized now, so going to fill it up with generals and send it to siege. And it will soon be joined by the army from England. We have caught the enemy. Ah, some more tech from Constantinople. Excellent. This one going to economy, which nothing of real use is viable yet. I'm going to send these troops here from England to join. And now that battle is completely in our favor. And now we just take the long time to siege. And to that extent, we're also going to disband these fleets, of course. It'll be... Oh, it'll only be another year before we get full taxes and everything from Jylland. That's excellent. I imagine that's because they're the same culture and the same religion as us, so no reason it should take too long. Oh, and finally gained an event that gives us a little extra stewardship, which now our domain size is a max of 3, so we're still 1 above it, but not too terrible. Looks like we might lose this bit of land over here in Finland. Sigurd's snake in the eye still owns a tiny bit of land over here in the Baltics. But if we lose it, we lose it. It's not the end of the world. And if he has a son, then we won't lose it at all. And he's a young count, so by all accounts he should, no pun intended, by all accounts, he should definitely be able to produce a son before he dies. And continuing with the siege, successfully took one of the successfully sieged down one of these, and took the son of this particular duke, which is unfortunate for the son. He will be rotting in the dungeons for the rest of his life. Cultural flexibility, which is a decent tech. It lowers the opinion penalty for different cultures and religion, has shown up in Urabi, although they have the same cultures and religion, so it doesn't really matter. And we have been offered peace, so I'm going to accept that. Become Thane in a couple different these cities. Oh, and we did release the sun. How annoying. Well, I'm going to stop there for today. We have now successfully taken pretty much all of Denmark, as well as some more of Pomerania. And so our Viking hordes are continuing their march onward and outward to take as much of Europe as they possibly can. So thanks for watching, and check back soon for more Crusader Kings 2, the old